Good morning, class. My name is Mr. Gutierrez, and today we'll be going over the theories of motivation. So the theories of motivation is the focus of today's lesson, where we'll be looking at theories of motivation. There are many theories of motivation that we will go over today, with the goal being for you to tell me which one you best identify with at the end, and then I will do the same. And the whole purpose of this is for me to get a better understanding of where you're coming from and how you see things and what motivates you. And so that'll kind of help me serve you guys better as a teacher. And so each theory will provide you with a limited view, and the goal is to identify the key points from within, and this will help you understand motivation as a whole. The first theory of motivation is the instinct theory of motivation. This is the theory that people are motivated to do things because they are evolutionarily programmed that way. So some of these things include fear, anger, and love. So nobody really teaches you these things, but rather you are ingrained that way through evolution. An example of this in animals would be migration. So ducks, for example, are not trained to go south for the winter in search of warmer weather, but are evolutionarily ingrained to do so, as this is key to their survival. The next theory we have is the incentive theory of motivation. People are motivated to do things for external rewards. Similar to what is known as operant condition, where reinforcement would strengthen a behavior and punishment would weaken it. An example of something that would strengthen a behavior is going to work in order to be paid. And then a punishment that would weaken it would be not going to work and getting fired. The next theory we have is the drive theory of motivation. And then this theory states that we as humans take some form of action that we believe will reduce inner tensions. Some examples of this would be eating when hungry, drinking when thirsty, and working out when stressed, as these are all ways that we can relieve inner tensions. An arousal theory of motivation. The arousal theory suggests that people do things in order to maintain what they define as a balance of arousal, and they will do things to heighten arousal if too high or too low. Examples would be going for a run when feeling low, or yoga when the feeling of arousal is too high. Yoga is also, some form of meditation. So if you're feeling like stressed out, this would be a great example. Then we have the humanistic theory of motivation. And this is a rather complex theory. And so we'll kind of go a little more in depth into this one. There are cognitive reasons for various actions, and this leads to a hierarchy of needs where we must fulfill our basic needs first, and then prioritize everything that comes after those needs have been met. Motivation will then increase as your needs are met. So if you look at the chart to your right, you'll see self-actualization being where growth needs. And then you'll see motivation will decrease as those needs are met, which is known as deficiency needs. And this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And so you'll see you have psychological as the base, then safety, then love, belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. So physiological is the base because those are the things that we need to survive. Like eating, drinking, things like those. And then we have safety. When we feel safe, we can then begin going on to the next step, which is love and belonging, where we see ourselves fitting into society, finding a sense of purpose, love. And then we have esteem, and then self-actualization is once you feel like you've reached all those categories, and then you're doing kind of things that make you feel like you. And then we have the expectancy theory of motivation. In this theory of motivation, it suggests that motivation comes from what we think would lead to a positive future outcome. We then use this as a motivation to reach those outcomes. An example of someone would be someone pursuing a college education, and the motivating outcome would be getting a dream job. So if you see here, you have effort, and then performance, which then leads to a reward. And so this is the one that I kind of agree with most, or will not necessarily agree with, but I see working for myself the most because I'm somebody who kind of has to plan things out, and I kind of look forward to the future when I'm planning things out, and that really kind of helps motivate me best. For example, like coming into class, I'm going to plan those lessons out, and my motivation would be seeing all of my students being successful in my class and in their future endeavors, and knowing that I kind of played a part in that. And so then that kind of helps me when I look back and see what really worked and what didn't work. And so now that's the end of the theories of motivation. And so what I'd like you guys to do is get out a piece of paper and tell me which one you feel you identify with the most. Like I told you already, I feel I identify with the expectancy theory the most. And this is just going to kind of help me get a better understanding of each of you as individuals and then the class as a whole, and kind of see how I can help you guys the best.